All right. Can I hold on here one second? I've got a couple of things here. I want to say, first of all, we got to explain something, Brian. I saw we got to talk to the kids. Somebody tweeted about the from the files, so one of the from the files segments that we have done, where you have read correspondence from your friend and mine, Norm Keitzer, who used to publish the wrestling news, those files which you now possess and operate, and the correspondence that he had with other wrestling personalities. And you'll read a letter from the wrestling personality and then a letter Norman wrote them back or whatever. And somebody said, well, bullshit. If it wasn't email, it's just mailing letters. How would he have both sides of the conversation? He would have mailed the letter. You see what I'm saying? Brian, should we enlighten the kids about the thing they used to have called carbon paper?
Well, I think the problem is you have to start by enlightening the kids about a thing they used to have called typewriters. That's the issue.
Children, and I'm hoping, I don't know, but I may have a box of carbon paper. I loved carbon paper when I was a kid.
The smell.
And my mom would bring it home when she worked down at the Chamber of Commerce for a few seasons. And my dad had it in the desk, when I was a little kid, because younger folks out there, when you operated a business back in those days and you were sending out a letter to someone and you wanted to keep a record of it in your files and they didn't have the email where you just print it out or whatever the fuck, or put it in your goddamn pipe and smoke it too, or wherever the kids store their emails, there was a piece of paper that was covered with carbon. Oh, carbon copy. What do they think CC on the emails is now?
Yeah, it's true. That's right.
Carbon copy is CC me on this email, carbon copy. It had the muck on one side of the sheet when you peeled it off and you stuck it in between your goddamn two pieces of paper and put it in your typewriter. When you typed the original letter on the paper, it would also make an impression on the piece of paper underneath that you kept as the carbon copy. And that's what businesses did, and stick them in the files. And that's why that, Brian, you now possess 27 file cabinets of material from a wrestling magazine publisher in Mankato.
That's why I have two-way conversation. There's a carbon copy of seemingly everything. From checks to letters to everything. Everything.
And it was easier and less expensive and less time consuming than putting it on the mimeograph machine. You remember that one?
Yeah.
And those smelled good too. Maybe that's what made all the kids from my generation of school smart, because we inhaled all the carbon paper and the smell of the mimeograph machine at school, making all them copies.
What did they call them?
Smell it now.
When you were a kid, did they call them dittos?
I remember the phrase ditto, but we were actually in the old mimeograph thing. I remember the word mimeograph machine being said constantly times per day. Constantly times. That's a mathematical measurement, by the way.
Ditto is the thing I remember everyone in the 80s when I was a kid calling it, that just no one calls it now. I'll make a ditto. No one says that.